It's now 7 p.m. I hereby call the August 14th meeting of the Frostburg Planning Commission to order. We'll start our meeting with a roll call of officers.
Richard Rizzo.
Eric Stevens.
Conrad Bass, Chair.
Karen Crow.
Jeff Snyder.
Ray Reese.
We have a quorum. As we begin, I would ask that anyone presenting business before the commission or individuals who want to comment on business before the commission or other concerns, please come forward to the podium at the appropriate time. State your name and address for the record. Each meeting is recorded, so please speak loudly and clearly. First item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes of the July meeting. Each of you have a copy there. Take a minute to review if you haven't already done so.
I just wanted to notice, I just noticed in my notes from the last meeting that you mentioned, we had talked about whether home-based businesses were okay. But should that be included? We decided that home-based businesses were okay if the facility is acceptable and met the standards, I guess, and nothing was said about. We were talking about the difference between the tattoo.
You're talking about beauty salon and
Body, right?
Yeah.
So just amend the minutes.
I
to
just
include
wondered if that needed to be included. But if beauty salons are allowed in home-based businesses are allowed for beauty salons, I guess that's maybe not necessary. Otherwise, I would make a motion that we accept the minutes as written.
I have a motion to accept the minutes as written. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept the minutes as written. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? Motion passed. All right, the next item on our agenda is citizens' comments on the floor, and this is for comments other than the projects that we're going to be considering. So, Matt, I know why you're here. Anybody else? You're all here for a project of one sort or another. Okay, fine. Just wanted for the record to let the rest of the commission know that I talked with Matt, and he has graciously allowed us to move on to item D because he's presenting A, B, and C. And we'll take D at first. And this is the special exception use for self-storage facility, 12 Village Parkway.
Thank you.
Your name and address, please.
Oh, yeah. My name is Sherry Frenzo. I'm speaking on behalf of Rick Craig and Brooke Nielsen for 12 Village Parkway.
Okay.
We are proposing storage units, 9 units at 10 by 10 and 2 units at 10 by 14. And we already have 3 businesses that are open there and thriving. And we wanted a special exception to allow us to have the storage
I think
units.
we're looking at page 49. On the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so you're on Village Park, okay. Where is Village Parkway on this?
On that map right there.
Yeah.
Can I, you want me to come over there?
If you would, please.
I can't see that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You wanna come up here and? Oh.
I was thinking it's on the left there,
Yeah.
Is that it right there?
or on the bottom.
would-
yeah.
Okay, the bottom of the, okay, is Village Parkway. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay, and what is it we want to do here?
For the storage unit, we needed a special exception permit, maybe?
Okay.
Favorable recommendation to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Is this a special exception in that zone, or is this a,
They are allowed by special exception.
okay, that's what I'm trying to get through my head there for a second. Okay. So you're looking to put 11 units in, is that it? Or are they already there?
They're already there.
They're already there. Okay.
So is that CNS in the background?
Yes. I look, Commissioner Holmes up in this here, and you see it down there. Took me a while to figure it out.
So they are there, you just need Board of Zoning Appeals approval.
Correct.
When were they put in?
Is it?
We started in November, December.
Okay, just recently.
Yeah, just a couple months ago.
So they don't call me enough.
It's between CNS Maltese and
Western Mountain Signs is on one side, then CNS Mulching is on the
Okay.
other.
Seem to be compatible with existing uses.
Before you started construction, did you ever check with anybody?
we were under the impression we didn't need a permit because we're not, there's all footers in there. Screwed up on that one. But not going to.
They're no footers, they're built with 4x4 cemented in the ground. Being though we already had businesses there, we didn't realize that we needed to get up.
I honestly think we need to see a site plan to scale showing the property lines.
It's all, the footage is on there, how far away the buildings are from.
Yeah, but is that to the, as you go road 42 feet, the front yard's a 30-foot setback. So did you take it to the edge of the road, or did you take the measurement to the right of way?
They took it to the edge of the road.
There's your problem. I'm sure the road is not as wide as the right of way.
I'll change on that.
So,
It's a two-lane road.
yeah, but the right of way through there is like 50 feet or 60 feet wide. It's pretty wide going down through there. So your front yard, even though it's all grass, does not necessarily all belong to you. And then the setbacks measure not from the roadway, but from the property line.
Where's the property line? Isn't that the end of the road?
No, not necessarily. It's in the T line. The 31st, that way?
It is 30 foot. Is it 30?
Yeah, TLI is on page 57 of the ordinance.
Side yard's 10 foot.
Or zero.
Or is that?
Yeah, none.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, so side yard's not a concern, it's just the front.
Units where each ones are along the road.
And 2 units, it says, according to the drawing, 2 units, and we got road 42 feet away.
I can't tell from this whether they're set back as far as the CNS building or not.
I looked at that last picture, and it looked like that other building was CNS.
Mm-hmm. So you were already using the property in what manner?
It's their storage units.
I know these are.
Oh, there's
Was-
3 other businesses there, and one is Mutt Masters,
The ones on the map.
That's in that,
and the other one is.
that yellow building that the,
Is it possible to kill
Yeah.
light?
Yeah.
Larry Gardner has his baseball card shop there. In the middle. And then there's a hair salon on the other side of that.
But the storage units are not in this
No,
image.
No,
what I'm seeing here is,
Okay.
this
Yeah,
is
they're
the,
on this one.
That drive would be
Be
the
in this
access.
area.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
so yeah, they're definitely sitting proud of the other buildings.
At least there's two up front.
Yeah, the other ones are back of the way. Oh,
yeah, what was the setback there,
It's 30 feet.
30 feet in the right of way.
from the right of way? As I remember, the right of way on that road does not correspond with the center line of the road, it's offset.
And your concern is that there may be plans to widen that
Well,
road?
no, it's, well, the requirement's 30 feet.
Requirement's
from the
30
right.
feet.
Yeah.
So,
And
it's a,
it would look to me like the 9-unit one is probably well back, but I don't, it's the 2 units in the front that do not look like they're
Yeah.
in compliance.
And you can't tell from that, there's not enough information on those drawings, and the property line shown on them. Well, you're on Google Earth, so you don't have property lines, but if you were on the county's web viewer, you'd have the same issue. The property lines there don't necessarily coincide with the real property lines. I think it diverts back to, the subdivision and land development regulations, which is just a separate document talking about submissions to planning commission. And you're required to have, a sketch plan, and this constitutes a sketch plan, but after that, you need to have a site plan, and I think the site plan is warranted in this case, particularly with the right-of-way issues and setbacks.
Well, the 9 units are not an issue. Your concern is for the ones in front.
Well, I don't know about the 9, I just don't know how far they come up, whether, you know what I'm saying,
Okay.
it looks like they shouldn't be an issue, but until you actually have them drawn to scale and have the property shown on it, now, if this had the property drawn on it and it was to scale, yeah, then that would be one thing, but, we don't have that on there to make that determination, so I personally am not comfortable making the recommendation on the layout. I don't have a problem with the units being there, I think this is a good use for the property, and I make that recommendation above it, but I couldn't approve the site plan as it's drawn.
Because this one shows it in the map.
yeah, but you're looking at the back too, so, again, raised, the 9-unit most likely in line closer with what the existing structures are. It's just those front units, and until you see where it actually is and scale it. Again, I'm with Ray on that, it's an ideal use, it meets, if it was that, there would be no issue with making a recommendation. I think I'm with you, I think we need to have
It's consistency across the board.
Yes.
We would make anyone else in any jurisdiction do the same thing if it was close to the property line like that.
So your recommendation is to table this until a site plan is available?
Yeah,
I think they need to do a site plan.
I don't think we can go to make a BOZA recommendation. I mean, we could definitely make it on the use, but first thing they're going to see is a site plan, a formal site plan.
Yeah, the special exception request is for the use. As far as getting it approved from the planning commission, it would have to come back before the planning commission.
Yeah, and like I said, I have no problem with the intent with making use there.
Well, let's make it with that, so we can go ahead and,
Oh, yeah.
We could make a recommendation to BOZA based on the submission of ensuring that they are set back from 30 feet.
And meet all requirements.
Meet all
Yeah, meet
requirements.
all
That way it
requirements,
leaves
yeah.
us, we could make that recommendation with that caveat
And they can
with
continue
everyone. That way we're not coming
Well,
back and then having to
Yeah,
do it again.
but you're gonna have a drawing
Correct.
for the planning, for the,
Boza.
For both, definitely.
the Bozo, yeah, Board of Zoning Appeals.
What kind of
Proper.
drawing do you want?
Pardon?
What kind of drawing do you want?
You're gonna have to hire either a land surveyor or an engineer to prepare a site plan. And you're gonna have the boundaries shown on it and the proposed structures.
And verifying that that setback is 30 feet. And that's going to be an issue if they're not, you may have to adjust
Who does?
those structures. What's that?
Who does that? Take those maps around.
The city's got a list of consultants, and if you stick around, you'll meet one here in a minute.
Need somebody else to come in?
He's here already.
So he can tell us where to go from here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have,
Do you want to make it? or-
I'll make the motion. I'd like to keep the process moving along.
Yes.
For me, the only thing I see, if they come back to us with a plat and it shows that those two units are like 10 feet over or 5 feet over, so you move the units.
And yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, big, not a hard deal,
Yeah.
not a hard sell there.
since they're not on the
So
foundation.
I'll make a motion that the use of self-storage is consistent with our comprehensive plan and has no negative impacts to the area in question. And make sure it stipulates the use.
Should we add that, a requirement for a site plan?
Yeah, I'll amend that a requirement for site plan, or a site plan shall be provided to BOZA for their approval, or part of their approval process.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the use of the storage facilities to go to the Board of Zoning Appeals, along with the need to have a site plan to present to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
We'll have to have this by next week's meeting, do we?
You're gonna have to have that when you go to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Is that the one that's next week?
Yeah.
Ah, man.
I'll second.
All, okay, we have moved in second, okay, lost track here. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. And if you would talk with Mr. Klink, probably tomorrow, he can get you a list of people who can do the work for you.
Jamie Klink.
Jamie Klink.
Yeah, I can get you, that if you, give me, well, I have your phone number and contact information, so if you,
Can you call the 2920 number, that's good.
what's the number again?
268-2920.
You need to be in contact with the city, not he being in
Right,
contact.
right.
All right. All right. Okay, Matt, you ready? Are we ready for Matt? I think we are. First one I have on here is seminary or lot split. And I saw the plat on this thing online, but I don't see it here in our package.
It's on the back of the,
Oh, I'm sorry. Turned too many pages.
Laser pointer? You don't have one?
In the truck.
Grab mine, come over and just did.
I've been anything but. What sheet is this one
It should be right front page,
on? There we go.
and there's some little numbers on there.
5, yeah. Yeah, I got that. You gotta take glasses off for this one.
Okay, that's right behind it.
So for the record, my name is Matt Brewer, Bennett Brewer and Associates, here on behalf of the applicant for lot split plat here on Ormond Street and South Water Street. Both parcels are owned by the same party. It's existed in its current state for many years. For whatever reason, I guess they did not realize. Yeah, there you go. So the parcel here in the back was actually landlocked. There was a house there that's been torn down now. I guess they just didn't realize how the parcel lines were configured, but this house is being sold down here at the corner of Water and Ormond Street, and so they want to rectify that. So this isn't really a true subdivision. A new lot of record is not being created here. This is simply transferring a portion of the parcel which fronts on Ormond Street to the parcel which is legally landlocked there at the moment, to create some frontage there and sort of restore what had been sort of the lot, let's say, for the house that occupied that area. So approximately 0.041 acres, which is about 1,800 square feet, is being transferred to the parcel to the east, the landlocked parcel.
How has it been used? Is there a house there on Ormond Street?
There used to be a house.
So this is a house right here.
For sale, yes.
Yeah, and then this paved area in the back, there was a house there until about a year ago, and
Yeah, it was all run down and fallen in and everything, yeah.
and they tore it down. So there's nothing there right now.
Along the street front.
Correct.
But that area in the back is what you're hoping to consolidate?
So right now, this parcel here associated with this house runs all the way up to
Oh.
All the
Ormond
way
Street.
through,
So
okay.
that parcel and
Got it, okay.
cuts off this one in the back here, and I guess
Okay,
there's a
then on
house
the,
that would have straddled that line, so I guess they didn't realize it, or it was part of a family thing, I don't know.
Yeah, so you're not really creating a lot of record, and even if you were, it would probably still meet the ordinance requirements, just because of where it's at in town. Yeah, you see the house
So
there.
there's that little house, yeah, it's gone now.
Did the house actually straddle the two lots? It was there?
It doesn't look like it in that
Yeah.
picture, but it would have certainly violated any of the setbacks there.
Is the purpose of this to make a build lot out of the two then?
I think so, yes.
We need to, probably need to show the setbacks on this side,
Okay.
on the plat. I'll make a motion, make a favorable recommendation for the lot split, with the acceptable plat revision showing the setbacks for all lots and the adjoining.
I'll second it.
okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the lot split after setbacks have been indicated on the plats. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? Motion passed. Jamie, I meant to say all in favor, aye. Opposed, nay. I was not voting nay on the, I know after I said it, oh wait, that came out wrong.
So 10 years from now, when we're looking at, or trying to listen to the record.
Yeah.
Like Conrad keep denying things.
Okay. Moving on then.
Okay, so second application here tonight is for Allegheny Cohen Land Company. This is the property commonly known as the switchback between the depot and the trailhead for the Gap Trail. This will be the depot building here in the lower left-hand corner. This is Allegheny Cohen Land's office, and then you're all familiar with the recent miners' memorial that was constructed there at the top of the hill. So I didn't even realize this actually, but there's a 4.5 acre, 4.2 acre parcel there in between the county the property owns and, or the property the county owns and the railroad there that's still owned by Allegheny Coal Land. So they're donating that to the city, so that will become city property. I'm not sure why it's not county property, but that's what that's the intent, is to convey this to the city of Frostburg.
Bethany gave me an email. It was from Liz Stallman,
Okay.
city administrator. She said she wanted this read into the record.
Okay.
I guess giving a little background on some of this as well. Liz stated, the city of Frostburg acquired an easement in 2003 from Allegheny Coal and Land for the purpose of constructing the switchback trail to connect the depot area to the Great Allegheny Passage. The portion of the parcel that the easement covers is located within the city of Frostburg's municipal boundary. The remainder of the parcel is within Allegheny County. Confirmed with Allegheny County Planning and Zoning that as long as this is in or on city limits, it is fine and they do not need to be involved. With the construction of the coal miner memorial, Allegheny Coal and Land is asked to transfer the easement area to the city of Frostburg through deed. However, the parcel needs to be subdivided in order to transfer only the easement area. Matt Brewer has done the work for Allegheny Coal and Land, and she just said that she had attached the original easement, and I believe we have the deed included as part of the package as well.
That's right.
Just for transparency, I worked on the original switchback through there. So, and one of the easements that's included in the package is one that I created back, when was that? You said 2003?
2003.
2002, so yeah, it's
Okay.
20-some years ago. Getting old, Matt.
Yeah.
We'll let you abstain when it comes to time.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. This is pretty clear cut. Did anybody have any questions? I'd entertain a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, it's been motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, we moved and seconded. We approve this easement. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions.
That's me.
Motion carries. Okay. Now I guess we're ready for Clem, is that it?
So this file, if you want to go maybe page 9.
Maybe you can put this mark up from the Bluetooth, hopefully it stretches, maybe you can control it? Yeah.
Okay, so we'll start with this. So I know that the planning commission received a presentation from the developer some time ago from Environmental. They're a company based in Frederick, Maryland, and their primary business is recycling of regulated medical waste. They patented a new process to process that waste, and that will be the prototype facility will be constructed here in the Frostburg Industrial Park. I won't go into great detail about that, but essentially it's they use ozone instead of chemical or heat processes to sterilize the medical waste. They shred it and recover the resins and polymers, and I think that's the product that they sell at the end of the process, and that's how they make money. So this is a vacant parcel here on the northeast side of Hill Drive. This little building right here, just for location purposes, is the pet crematorium building, and that's just sort of an empty parking lot there. There's a stormwater pond on this, an old stormwater pond as part of this parcel. I don't know what it was for, some previous use. The county doesn't really know what it's for, have any record of it, or why it was built there, but it is in fact there. One of the questions asked at the previous presentation was whether or not this parcel had been properly subdivided in the Laurel Hill Drive to educate the public use, and the answer to that is no. And so this is owned in fee by Allegheny County Commissioners as of today. As this goes forward, there's an interim arrangement with the developer between Allegheny County and Clinton Environmental for them to get this process started, and then they will eventually own the property, Clinton Environmental. And when that happens, which is going to be soon, the county will prepare a subdivision plat to formally make the dedication and carve off this, old pond, whatever it's called. So as of today, all of this property is still owned by the county, and they're moving forward with the construction under this lease agreement type arrangement, and then it'll be formalized. My understanding is in the next few months.
Now, does that include the crematorium, or what you have in red is what the county owns?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. So, in the interest of time, this project was divided into two phases, site prep phase, and then phase two, which you have there in front of you, is the actual building construction package. I believe the architect has submitted their building plans to the city. I don't know if that was, is that correct?
What's that?
The architect has submitted those separately to the city?
Yeah, we have received it, yeah.
Okay. So, just because of the way this was done, the civil part was kind of separate from that, but they have done that. The intent of the fire marshal going through those processes there. So, the first part of this, which is the site prep package, grading permit's been issued by the city of Frostburg for this. We have a approved set of erosion control plan. And this first part is being financed by the county. Essentially, this is a rough grading of the site, and they'll extend the utilities back so far, back to New Road for service connections for this building, installation of erosion control features, which will support phase one and phase two of the project. And so you can see the outline of the future development here. Phase one of building construction will include a 10,000 square foot warehouse manufacturing site with a truck court here on the south side. And this building pad will just be graded for essentially a mirror of that at some point in the future, another 10,000 square foot
Oh,
addition.
I'm
to
sorry,
this
what was
building.
that?
So in this one, if you look at the building here, this is what's being built.
Okay.
We're gonna
Oh,
have,
got it.
just so we can do it as they expand.
I was looking at the wrong one, thanks. Got it.
And so you can see here, this is a cross-section long ways through the building, so this would be the future, I guess, phase 3 construction over here. This would be the building before you here today. This would be cross-section 90 degrees to the building. See, we have a lemon drive over here. And then in phase 2, there will be some additional grading to build this truck court once the foundation is installed for this building. That project has been awarded by the county to Carl Belt, and they intend to begin construction. I think the kickoff meeting is next week for that. So, moving forward. This is site plan for phase 2 construction of the facility. As you can see here, this includes construction of this portion of the building. This is the 10,000 square foot layout here, and then future footprint over here. We have a truck court for tractor trailer access here on the south side. Truck will come in, back in here, go back out. And then parking on the north side of the building. They don't have very many. We have a couple of employees there operate this facility. It's 90% of it is this warehouse space, and they have a couple of small offices here on the west side further from the building. The entrance will come off of Laurel Hill Drive. We'll construct a new paved drive lane back into the facility. You can see here, I don't know if the utility stubs were actually awarded. They were bid as ad alternates, and I don't know if the county had enough money to do that, but either way, the water line will be extended back here to the building, and there's actually a vertical curve here, so there's a hump there which really can't be changed too much because of this parking lot. So the building is actually down a couple feet below the elevation of Laurel Hill Drive here. So we're going to have a small pump station and force main here that will come back to Laurel Hill Drive to the sanitary sewer service. And a water line connection here. We have a new fire hydrant here, and they weren't going to originally, but they are now going to sprinkle this building. So it will have interior fire protection as well. For stormwater management, we have 5 distinct structures here. Microbial retention structures, sized to accommodate the pervious area of the paving and rooftop project, which is pretty significant. And this portion over here, the road, will be treated with rooftop, non-rooftop disconnect. So these are all the individual drainage areas for the stormwater management structures and pipes and so forth. This is in the technology light industrial zone, and this is a light industrial structure, so it's complying with the existing zoning. There are no variances or special exceptions necessary for the building. There will be some minor grading for the final pavement grades and truck court in the back here, but the bulk of that will be done during phase 1. It's my understanding that they'll just roll right into phase 2, and they want to we'll see, but they want to be in this building by the end of the year.
That's ambitious.
Glad to take any questions.
What do your landscaping plan?
There's no formal landscaping for this.
Okay.
So this is what, final site plan review? That we're looking at here?
Yeah. Again, just to verify, Matt, so basically, once it's separated, what's in the gray, so obviously the old said trap up top and then the road, that the county's retaining that property, so it's literally just gonna be the entrance. I mean,
That's my suggestion. I don't know why they would want to own that.
yeah,
But, ultimately the
For
county will.
landscaping, I mean, this is their grand entrance, this is a model project.
again, it might not be on their that's why I was asking that, yeah, because on that, if that's the footprint, it is a very efficiently used footprint, because it's pretty much all taken up.
It's tight.
It's tight, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, if the county's retaining the old said pond, and then most of the funky little piece is actually the road.
Well, county wants this to go in.
Yes.
They want to make it as easy as possible.
Right. And I get where
So
you're going, but if
ownership-
it gets split off, then the company doesn't have control of what the county's gonna retain, which is where I think you're headed.
No, that's a good question.
So who's gonna own the road going in? The
So
county?
it would be, this road?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so this would be a private road, this is
Right,
part of their
okay.
property. So my suggestion would be that they would come down and leave a 50-foot wide, strip here, just like a public road.
Okay.
And then, they would have an easement on this part for their, for using this as part of the
So-
stormwater strategy.
Laurel Hill Drive, I guess is what it's called here. Who's gonna own Laurel Hill Drive when this is done?
It would be, right now it's maintained by the city. And but it,
The city or the county?
by the city.
By the city,
But
okay.
it should have been dedicated to public use long ago, but it somehow never was. So that needs to be done, and, I've suggested to them that, that they would carve out this part with the pond on it, but I can't really control that. I think for purposes of, the development standards, do they have access to a publicly maintained road? Yes. There is a little, I guess, formal step that needs to be done to codify that as a public right of way. But it's publicly maintained.
Anybody have any other questions? Ray, I see you got your head down there real tight.
No, it's just, I gotta give it to you, Matt, that is one heck of a tight site.
It's definitely,
You're not fitting anything else in there. I hope you don't hit rock or something like that, you gotta change something.
Yeah.
So. Did you have a geotech done?
We did.
Would you run into anything?
No, it should be fine. They even did some, there was actually under this property, there's some old mining activities, so they did some deep before he's there, just to make sure he gets this here. Because that's really important here, because they will have some very heavy equipment inside that vibrates and so forth. So that's real important.
Okay, the chair would entertain a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion to accept the final plat as presented, obviously with the caveat that the property will be split out, with the county retaining the right of way, which is, what's the name of the street?
Or-
Jamie, will this get a Huffman Hollow address or a Laurel Hill address?
That I'm not certain.
I think Laurel Hill, yeah.
So it's on.
We're getting to the point where we're gonna need some directional signing down there
That's the access
Yeah.
road.
off
so-
of Village Parkway. I'm being serious.
Yeah,
They assigned an address to it.
I think. Is it stated as Laurel Hill, I believe?
It has a 911 address.
Laurel Hill sounds nice. You looking for it?
No, I'm just, admiring the place.
10802 Laurel Hill Drive.
Jeff, would you mind repeating the motion now that we know what the address is?
I make a motion to, we accept the final plat as submitted with the caveat and the knowledge that Laurel Hill Road right-of-way will be split out.
I'd second the motion.
Been moved and seconded that we approve this final site plan. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed indicate by saying no. Abstentions. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Could I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Or make a quick comment?
Sure.
So for all the subdivision or lot split plats, so typically, and we've done it the last few times, and I kind of crossed my fingers there, but when we submit them, asking for the Mylars at the same time, but a lot of times there's a comment like tonight, so those are essentially trash. I don't care so much about the paper copies, but so if we could withhold the Mylar copies till after this meeting for the subdivision plats, and then, because they don't get signed at this meeting anyway, I don't think, you guys
That's
don't
a
actually.
requirement of the city to submit that. I think that'd be very easy for you to hold Mylars off until everything with final signatures.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, because if there's any changes made, then,
Yeah, I'd hold them off anyway, Matt, just that I didn't bring. No,
Especially a more complicated plat, there's probably going to be something that's.
there's always something, right?
Okay, that makes sense, so we can take that into account going forward.
Yeah, I think that's on your checklist for submissions.
Yeah.
So you might want to change that on the final and then just put a note that Mylar will need to be provided as part of the approval process. That way, someone comes from outside the area knows this written Mylar.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
So it's positive.
Courthouse requires it, the state requires it. Believe it or not, the state won't take the PDFs. They take the Mylars with the ink signatures and scan them, even though half the stuff we do now has digital signatures on it.
So so it's a much worse copy than they could.
Oh, yeah, you can't read the copies. You end up having to, hey, Matt, you got a copy of plat 1500?
Right.
Okay, moving on. We now have a proposed body art studio at 6 East Main Street.
Yeah, so
Anything here in the package?
in the time since our last meeting, when we had talked about the text amendment to the zoning ordinance that would allow body art studios, or have the body art studios treated the same as such as a beauty salon. We actually noticed at the Jamaica Junction store at 6 East Main Street that they had a sign up that said tattoos and piercing. So, you know, we had sent a letter to them informing them of, you know, that it's not a permitted use or, you know, or it's a special exception use currently. However, in conjunction with what we're going to talk about next, the amendment to the zoning ordinance to have those treated the same as beauty salons, we wanted to bring it to the planning commission to get your feeling as to whether we should hold them to the current zoning requirements, or since the text amendment went to council work session last night, and the feeling is that it will be passed next week, so there should not be any issue with that, provided that they do approve that next week. How does the planning commission feel as far as allowing them to operate instead of waiting until, I believe, the effective date of the amendment would be September 30th? Instead of making them come before the planning commission, get the recommendation to the Board of Zoning Appeals, go to the Board of Zoning Appeals, and all of that, and the timelines for that would not be too far off from whenever this is just going to be essentially part of the ordinance.
Do they meet the existing standards in terms of?
Yeah, I mean, in talking with the health department, like they have all of their required elements, you know, all their certifications and everything. So there would be no issue with them operating besides the fact that it's currently, as you know, as far as the zoning ordinance is concerned.
What do you do to say a residential, someone has a house and they put an addition to their house without getting a permit fee? What do you do then? Do you fine them?
We would send them a letter, you know, notifying them that a permit was required, give them a time frame for compliance, or at least to talk to us to initiate the process, and then have them go through the proper steps, you know, the inspections and the plan submission and everything for the permitting process.
Okay, but there's no fine involved.
There would, if they didn't comply.
Yeah,
there
after
would
that
be.
point, they didn't comply.
Yeah, they did not
So
comply.
I don't see a reason why you would do anything otherwise for this, is give them a letter, slap them on the wrist, tell them, which you've already did, that they're in non-compliance. And we just give them a time period to respond that puts us beyond the time period it takes for the adoption of this.
What they haven't, from our knowledge, they have not actually begun operation.
Okay.
They had put the sign up in anticipation, not realizing that that was going to be an issue.
If they haven't begun operations, then why don't we send them a letter and say, hey, why don't you wait, or else you're gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's either they wait until the September 30th date, or they go through the process to try and you know, the planning commission.
I think you
Propose,
answered your own question. You send a letter and say you either wait till September 30th or go through the whole process, which they're not gonna get through in time.
Okay.
So,
So they'll be
I'm just
waiting
trying to
till
think being
September.
fair across the
But
board.
again,
Yeah.
that's burdensome because we've already made the decision as a board that, hey, we're gonna change this. We're just waiting on mayor and council. I mean, I hate to say it's sort of on you how you guys wanna handle that. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's not a
I mean,
board issue.
to bring them back to us seems to be very arbitrary. And why? I'm afraid, but I see it a little bit different though than somebody building a house because, or an extra room, because we've already given, you know, our blessing, it's going to the mayor and council. We're just waiting on mayor and council.
Yeah.
Now, if mayor and council does not follow the recommendations that we've set forth, that's a whole nother
Yeah.
bailiwick.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, you might want to, you'd probably want to send that letter just to cover you, the city, if it
Proceed
doesn't.
at your own risk.
Yeah,
But
Yes,
we
sort of.
have already notified them.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
That's
we
already-
have notified them, you know, that they are not to operate. Yeah, it was just our feeling, as staff, I mean, we didn't wanna make that call, but we wanted to bring it to you to see if it was something where you felt it was acceptable for them to operate since it was going to be put into law, without just having to wait all that, like, procedural timeline.
You're dealing with legalities there, and
Yeah.
this is not the board really to address that with.
More mayor and council.
It's more a mayor and council issue. Let them decide how they want to handle it. We've already set our piece. We're fine with
Okay.
what they want to do, and that's why we put the recommendation in front of the mayor and council. Should they decide to put the hammer down, tell them they have to wait until it's legal, that's up to them. That's not for this board to decide. At least that's my opinion.
Don't believe we have enforcement powers on this board.
No, we don't.
I guess, back to one little point Karen brought up at the beginning, for in-home business. Obviously, there are people who do hair in a home business. I mean, do they advertise, do they whatever, does it happen? Yes. So, how would we look if we're gonna consider this all in the same category? I guess I didn't get a good feeling on how the city's gonna look at that. Because that's where you were going to be at the very beginning, right, Karen? Okay. Because I didn't feel like we got a good where we were on that.
Depend on the location.
Well, basically, we said the same thing, we're considering body art the same thing as a beauty shop, so,
Okay.
you know, if you can have a home occupation at the body arts that go through the proper channels with the city, they're limited to the number of trips they're allowed to have there a day. Now, we get a body art studio that's got 50 people coming in an hour in a residential area, that's where the city needs to step in with enforcement saying you are out of compliance with the home occupation. You know, whether it's a body art or you're doing someone's hair or, you know, or nails, it would be the same thing. So as long-
I just wanted to clarify,
Yeah, I
because I
mean-
didn't think we really answered that at the beginning.
I thought we were, from the last meeting, you know, I thought it was pretty clear
Yeah.
that it was, we made it clear that
Yeah.
this also would apply to home occupations where we give beauty salons to home occupations,
Okay.
so. The reality of it is I think you're gonna have a hard time getting a home permit from the state to do body art and to do tattooing, just because of the extra set of hygienic requirements. It's a little different than collar and hair.
So they would have to have the health department certificate.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so there's a lot more that goes into it to have it in a home occupation. That really isn't our part to police, that would be something from the city as part of the permit with the home occupation.
Got your guidance there, Jamie?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You wanna move on to the text amendment now?
Yeah,
Okay.
so this one, you would need a vote for, the text amendment, um, that would allow the body art studios, um, as a permitted use in the primary district, regulations. All of the, changes are the ones that would be highlighted.
So basically, that's all we're about to, beauty shops.
Yeah, beauty shop and body art studios would carry the same either special exception or permitted use.
Would it make sense just to move body art studio into the same block that has beauty shop, barber shop, and everything else in it? Or is it done this way intentionally?
I believe we kept it separate just based on the separate, licensing or,
Okay.
The health requirements.
Just curious. I read through this before, and I didn't see any issues with the way everything was laid out. And it's pretty cut and dry to do these kind of amendments anymore. So make a recommendation that this gets placed in front of mayor and council as presented.
If I understood you correctly, Jamie, they've already seen this?
Yeah, just with the way the timeline with work session being a day before the planning commission meeting,
Okay.
Bethany presented that to council last night, and she said they had no issues with it, and so it is our assumption that it will be passed next week, provided that, it gets voted on favorably by the planning commission.
I have a motion to approve the text amendment. Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded, we approve the text amendment as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions. It carries. And the last item on this that I see is comprehensive plan update. Is that correct?
Yes, just
Over there.
quick update. We have completed, there are 2 lengthy scoping and data collection questionnaires that were provided by the consultant. Our responses are currently under review by their staff, and we're awaiting their next steps. The consultant provided a draft of community survey questions. City administrator is currently reviewing that, and we expect to have a finalized version ready for release in September. And we have almost finalized the steering committee roster, and we'll be scheduling the first meeting within approximately 2 to 3 weeks.
So the questionnaire is, these are questions that they will be soliciting feedback on?
Yeah, I believe so. I know Bethany has been handling all of that. She had just gave me a quick little synopsis of what she had, been doing. But that's what I believe so.
The process hasn't started yet?
No.
Great.
All right, thank you. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, hold on, let's bring in one thing. Jamie, what we had first tonight,
Yep.
with the, self-storage facility, really would have liked to seen a little more information from you guys, like, like a breakdown of what's presented and everything else. Maybe I missed it in the 70-page packet.
It's not in the packet.
But just like, maybe a short, a little more summary up here in our agenda, what's going on. So like, it's in this district, setbacks or this, that. Make things easier, because we'd spend some time just flipping through and look at the regulations.
Yeah, I make sure that, going forward, we can do that.
It'll help things speed along. It doesn't make, we're sitting here at both ends of the table flipping through the ordinance, trying to figure out, where does this fit in?
Yeah,
So, make us easier for just a little time. You probably already had it, because you probably already looked at it whenever they said it.
yeah, I mean, that's something that we can easily put together, because, yeah, we're already looking at the project. But yeah, just like a short little, something that helps.
We used to get, it would be like a staff, not necessarily a staff report, but a staff recommendation. So,
Okay, yeah, I mean, we can do that. I wasn't aware that we essentially could give staff recommendations like that, but,
we used to get them all the
Yeah.
time, and then back when COVID hit, a lot of the stuff like that kind of diminished, because it just wasn't the need for it. So,
yeah, no, that's perfectly fine.
In essence, it's just your review notes, if anything you saw that, hey, it's missing this, or this is the issue.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I'm,
exactly.
yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
totally fine. My previous position, you all do the reviews and such, whereas at my last position, I used to give a
Yeah.
full review letter and then present that to my planning commission, for their vote.
And
So,
that's how Cumberland's run, and that's how the county's run too, is
Yeah.
the staff makes a staff report, and then any discussion items you bring up, you kind of lead the discussion.
yeah, okay, yeah, no, I can definitely do that.
Thank you. Now,
All right, now I'll make my motion.
second.
Then move that we adjourn. Do I have a second?
Yep.
We're adjourned.
Heck of a packet. I gotta give it to you.
Oh,
It's a heck of a packet.
I know, whenever I saw, I'm like 60-some pages, oh my gosh.
Next time that we have stuff like this, where we got